Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Films Today podcast. Today we have a very special guest, Wilma Williamson. So happy to have you here today.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. I'm so eager to hear about your new film, Flatline, because I'm sure everyone has seen it basically everywhere.
Yes, well, I have an amazing team behind me that have managed to perfectly distribute the film to our prime audience, but also expose it to people who we aren't necessarily targeting, to really open up our new demographics. That's why you've seen us all over social media platforms, ranging from TikTok to really capture the younger crowd from 15 upwards, and then Twitter to expose the film to slightly older age categories from 40 upwards. The reason why we wanted this large age range of target audiences is because there's a huge element of nostalgia when it comes to the music. We even purposefully used an elliptical narrative that takes the audience back in time to show how the lead character's life went wrong. Our film is very relevant for Gen Z and therefore their parents who are Gen X.
So can you tell us a bit more of what's going on and what the trailers are trying to tell us as an audience?
Of course. So basically we meet our character Lara, who is around 18 and getting ready to go off to uni. There are just so many unexplainables in her life. She's been in this bubble wrap implemented by her parents her whole life. Until she gets to uni, where she starts to spiral out of control and starts to experiment like everyone does. However, that eventually puts her into a bad place. Things start to get out of control and she hits a rock bottom. That's when we as an audience start to see the same spiral took place when her parents were her age. However, the spiral was still going on and never sort of ended.
Wow, so this film is a coming-of-age drama.
Yes, definitely.
So what really happened specifically that made you come to the decision that this is a coming-of-age drama?
As a lot of the film is actually set in the late 80s, early 90s with the prime club culture, we created the soundtrack that really reflects this and is a blast from the past, which is now available on Spotify for both generations to enjoy. Well, I would have to say the sense of independence that Lara gets from going away to university and really experimenting with culture of going out, drinking, and ultimately just freedom is what gives us this coming of age category. However, there is a huge drama element with the exposure of it all and having a knock-on effect in her life that does lead her to end up in hospital after a huge crash, as well as her parents' relationship with her and how they act with each other that cause things to get so much worse.
So is there any element of the movie that actually doesn't fit into these categories or just doesn't conform to what we would expect, narrative-wise?
I mean, the film will get you crying for a fact, so I think there's definitely aspects of melodrama involved. Definitely the decline of Lara's recent experiences, but I don't think there's anything unexpected, except when we finally find out the full stories of Lara's life and her family, as well as how she ends up after this hospital trip. That I can say you definitely won't expect. I have really been inspired by the film 13, especially the message that it was sending and how it was delivered. And you can definitely see how it was reflected in my film.
I'm excited to find out. So where have you advertised the film? Because I've seen some really out there, different and quite niche ways that you have promoted the film.
Yes, well, the film does take place with Lara moving to university. So we thought, as a company, to actually promote the film, we'd go and do pop-ups at different unis around the country, as well as synergetically working with companies such as Urban Outfitters to create our own fashionable merchandise. But our most common outlet is definitely through social media. And that's where we have managed to get the most wide range recognition from younger and older audiences. So we have live Q&As on most platforms to engage lots of viewers, whilst also releasing a lot of teaser trailers that keep our audiences excited for the release.
Yes, I've managed to catch one of the Instagram Q&As, and wow, it really is entertaining.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, well, it's safe to say I'll be keeping an eye out for Flatline. Join us next week where we will be uncovering the new It movie and diving right into it.